Kathy and Alice on a Sunday morning. There's Ken, not Ken, but Tootsie, our boyfriend at that time was one of the Kinder brothers. There's Maureen coming out of and this it rained that day, and we were getting ready to go to the airport to do a little flying. Dave Kinder had never flown, so we decided to take him out there and take him for a ride. There's a Mando. That's the PT-13 that I took him up in. As you can see, I'm in the back seat. This plane is flowing from the back. This is at Stenson Field, by the way. There goes Olga with one of the instructors that used to teach me out there. Now I'm coming back. Those fly right on into the airport, into the hangar. There's Alice, Kathy, and Olga that just left. There's the instructors. And that guy over there is was a crop duster. Kathy and Maureen used to fight over that little dirty dog whenever they went out there at the airport. This is the guy that owned the airplanes that we were flying. That's the mother of that little dog, as you can see. This is the day when the cars were big and heavy. As you can see, this is an airplane coming in at the Coliseum for the livestock show. They used to go out there and put an airplane in there to show the crop dusting. This is in Laredo. Washington's birthday. We went down there to the parade in Laredo, Texas. This is Laredo, Mexico. Look at the old cars. You can tell how far back this has been. As most of the cars are 38, 39, and 40s. This is the first bullfight and only bullfight that Alice and I ever attended. It was very bloody, and I just didn't care for it. Now we're, wait a minute, I'm sorry, we still have to bullfight yet. But you can see how they weaken the bull before they kill him. They have all these little deals sticking out of him so that he bleeds. And they tried to sink the sword in, but it didn't go in. They're trying to get it out. Now we're on a buggy ride. I don't know if this is going to come out or not because it's very jiggly, and not only that, but it's very dark. Kathy riding on Lavaca Street where we used to live when the kids were small. Now we're over on Simon Street. This is where Connie and Carlos used to live, on Simon. We went over there for Easter. This is on Easter. As you can see, all the Easter, everybody's dressed up in their Easter goodies and all of Easter bags. And Maureen is more interested in her Easter bag than she is in the camera or having her picture taken. 7 Peters Court, which is Alice's mother's old address. There's Edna. And first we have Kathy. Then we have Maureen. Then we have Norma, that just came. And there's Connie and Carlos. Olga. And Edna. There's Mother and Armando. There we are, coming out of Mother's again. She's all dressed up for Easter. There's Alice, Connie, and Keith Rourke. This fella's from my hometown. We flew home one time for a 3-day pass. He had a 3-day pass from the service, so we decided to fly home. And this is Olga, and with our old Studebaker champion. There's Herbert. And here we are out by Stenson Field picking wildflowers. Now we're getting ready for a fiesta parade. Alice and Kathy and Maureen, and that's Norma there, and there's Carmen. There's Alice just stooped over to pick up the little girl. And this is the parade route. As you can see, it's very popular. It's very crowded, and kids had a good seat where they could see up in the window. That was our governor at that time. The king of the parade. Henry and the kids. There's some of the people that partake in the parade. I don't know who they are, but they represent Brooks Field. And then they had some astronauts. And all these are flowers. That's why they call it the Battle of Flowers Parade. There's Mexican cowboys, the charros. It's one of the princes in the parade. That was a girl that they knew from Del Rio that was in the parade. She was one of the princes. There's the queen with the big long gown. That's a magnolia tree, and that's at the River Artisan Theater on the Riverwalk. We were tired, and after the parade, we stopped here to... Now this is when Maureen had mumps, and we were living on the rock. As you can see, she's pretty swollen. She was pretty sick with them. Now here we are at Landa Park in New Brunswick. And as you can see, the kids were having a good time in the pool. And that's Tootsie there. There's Maureen. There's Maureen and Tootsie. There's Yolanda. And that's my bathing beauty, Alice. There's Kathy. Maureen. Alice again. And as you can see in the background, there's Yolanda looking like a whale. Coming up for air. Now this is Alice's mother's birthday. We had it at Breckenridge Park, and this is Maureen when she made First Communion. She was the first one in line there. See her right there? Right now she'll be the first one again. As she comes out, we're holding the candle, see? I took a few pictures of some of the rest of them. I don't know who they were all. There goes Tootsie in front of the camera. And this is one Maureen's godmother when she made her First Communion. All right, now they're going back in. That's one of the little Summerfield girls. I don't know what. There's Maureen and Kathy again. There's Yolanda, hopping and skipping. Now we're back at that party again. I don't know how I got that other piece in there, but there's Lou, DeFont, and Carlos, Raphael, and as we go around, there's Olga, Maureen just running from, Mother's sitting back there in the back. Mary and Raphael are seems to be doing a lot of the cooking. Now there's Mary, there's Edna. She was becoming a nurse. There's Tootsie. There's Mother sitting there again. Now they're all sitting down to eat. That's Norma, Kathy, Maureen, and Edna. There's Armando, Raphael, Carlos, Yolanda, Olga, Mary, and Tootsie. There's the show, the star of the show. Edna was tired. She just got off of duty. She was a nurse at Santa Rosa. Now the kids are playing in a sand pile right by. I don't know what kind of a dance this was supposed to be, but that's Alice with the hat on. There's Herbert, just to show you this, so you could draw it down there. That's Lou DeFont. There's Herbert and Mary. And this is a little train that used to be in Breckenridge Park. It's no longer there. They have a larger one now. This was usually just for the kids, but there was some adults who used to ride it. Just had a little train station. There we go. Picture of all the cars. There's Herbert and Mary. And there's Edna. Edna and I pretended like I was going to kiss her, and she was laughing so hard she couldn't. There's and Kathy had cut her foot on a piece of glass or something, and then I caught Maureen with her foot in a tub with all the beer. Mother reading the newspaper. Now we went to the Hakala. That's Raphael's friend there, and there's Tootsie, Yolanda, Olga, Edna, Lou, Herbert, Alice, and that's Alice's mother. And now we're at home. Everybody's full, and now we're on our way to Mexico City. This is what they call the Saddle Rock. As you look at it from one point, you can see it's a saddle, but as you pull away, it looks different. Now here we're above the clouds as we're driving along through the mountains in Mexico. We're at This is another town. I can't think of offhand. Lamar, I think it is, or something like that, where we stopped and spent the night. We had a very nice hotel room. But you can see here how the the farm people work in the hills. As you can see, the patches of land that are cleared is where they raise their crops. And this is a river. As we swing around here, you'll notice that we come back to the road again, and you see the cars that are at least 4 to 5 miles away from us. But if you were to travel straight across, it wouldn't be much more than a half a mile. Now you can see the clouds are laying into the hills again. We're getting up higher here. Now we're almost to Mexico City. As in here, as you can see, we are in the clouds, and it's very foggy. And as you look certain directions, you can see, and other directions you can't. See how the cloud lays among the hills? Now this is Xochimilco, the floating islands in Mexico City. With all the boats, they all have names, and you rent them, and they take you around. And they sell their wares and everything else from boats. And like this lady here, she's selling flowers. See here, as you go by, they walk out there. I bought Maureen and Kathy our corsage. I don't think they were too happy with being there because they were among a bunch of strangers. As you see, I bought Alice an orchid. At that time, I think that was 50 cents. Now, this is some of the food places in Mexico. There's Tootsie, Maureen, and Kathy. And here we are back on the boat again, traveling down. There's mariachis singing. Very colorful and a lot of music going on all the time. This is the Cathedral of Mexico. And the Governor's Palace, where he stays. Now we're looking at another angle from the cathedral, from the side. There's Tootsie and Maureen, and some of the statues. Now we're back at the tourist court. Now this is Maximilian's Palace, by the way. That's Tootsie at Maximilian's Palace. As you would go through that gateway there, you would go into his courtyard where he had all his equipment, his horses and stuff. Alice is showing some of the roses, and this is stained glass window that they have there. This is now down below here is where I was talking about. They have his buggies and all his museum. This is the Hall of Cannons, where they had all their cannons stored. Now we're back out on the street, and we're looking at one of the marketplaces in Mexico. Now we're on our way back, and we are back to Monterey. And as you can still see, we are still in the clouds, but things have not changed. Very dangerous driving. Now we are to Monsoon Charlie. This is an Indian village where we spent the night on the way back. Very open. Now we're back in Monterey. Here's Monterey now. As you can see, the saddle rock by night. And this is the mountains. Now this is the cathedral in Monterey, Mexico. And we stopped here and visited with some of Tootsie's friends. This friend, I don't remember his name, but we went up to what they call Horsetail Falls, I should say. As you can see, there isn't really too much water coming over it, but it's very cool and damp. And it does drop quite a distance. And come comes down through the gorge. We had to ride up on these little burros that you seen. We had to ride up on those burros to get up there, and we stayed up there quite a while. Now, Maureen didn't want to go up, so she stayed with her grandmother at the. This is a bear. As you can barely see it, there is a little bear, and he would drink soda water or whatever you would bring him to drink. See, as I would give him some soda water, he was drinking it. And there's a swimming pool at the base of it. And the people sitting around, I don't know why they didn't use it, or whether they don't use it, or what. But they did have dressing rooms in case you did want to. Now we're back and we have a birthday party. And I think this is one of Kathy's birthday parties, where they have, now we're at Christmas. As I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's Maureen and Kathy both sitting under the Christmas tree, showing off their dolls, and the Christmas tree in the background. This is on Lavaca Street when we lived there. This had to be back in the 1950s. Now we're at 107 Peters Court. Now this is mother's old address. That's Norma. There's Kathy. They're all with their dolls. And now this is a Christmas scene that's in the park. Alice, I got her, we were going out to a dance, and she got a, now this is my birthday in January. That's Lou and Helen Granado's home. They used to live out on the south side of town, and this is a cake that was for my birthday. But I didn't feel much like it because the night before we had a big party at Breckenridge Park. And I drank a little bit too much. This is Ken Dersinski. He is now Tootsie's husband. This was a friend of his. There's Edna, Alice, and the kids, the Maureen and Kathy. And see, this is Kathy's birthday. And everybody eating cake. That's Margaret and Forsyth off there. There's, now we're back at Easter again. There's Maureen. There's Tootsie. Herbert. Olga and Edgar. Edgar just now, Carlos, and there's Herbert and Kathy, Norma and Edgar, Herbert and Kathy and Carlos. And there's Alice when we had our wreck, when Studebaker was no longer. That's Edgar and Olga. And there's Armando. And then Mother. Alice walking on her crutches down the steps. Everybody coming down the steps. There's Ricky. This is the first time we have him in the picture. Ricky, that is Herbert's adopted son. There's Herbert. And that's one of the, you know, now we're at a party at Landa Park. These are friends of Tootsie's. It says happy birthday, Ken. It was Ken's birthday, Ken Dersinski. And as you can see, everybody's there. There's Henry and Carmen. Now we're at Kathy's graduation from kindergarten. This is when they had her little graduation from kindergarten. There she got their diploma, and she walks back and stands. See there she is again. There we are. Father Breen. I don't know what the other. Father Lockwood was. He was Monsignor. That's Father Breen there. And this is Tootsie's wedding. So it is. And she married Ken. There's Henry. There's Bobby Flores with his back towards us. And Henry. Armando. Now we're at the reception. That's Carlos. And there's Richard. He was from California. I meant to mention him a while ago when I had him on the screen. And they had a swimming pool. They had this reception around a swimming pool. That's Calvin Jordan. Of course, everybody knows who he is. This guy. Now we're on our vacation, going to Biloxi. Right now we're heading for Biloxi, Mississippi. On our way, actually going north. This is the Huey Long Bridge as we cross over it. Now we're in Biloxi, Mississippi, right on the Gulf Coast. We took Mother and Yolanda along, and let's see, I think, yeah, this is when we visited Herbert in Biloxi. There's Armando, Ricky, and Kathy, Maureen, and Alice on the backwater at Biloxi. This is some of the cypress trees, how they're very huge and full of moss. There's Alice's mother with her, that'd be Mark, that was a baby. So it would be. And this Alice and Mark, Kathy and Mark, and Maureen off to one side. There's Maureen, and here we are. Now you get a good look at him. Mother and Maureen and Kathy. Now we're down at on the Gulf. Yolanda's sitting in the water with Ricky. Yolanda and Ricky and Kathy. There's Armando. That's Alice laying on getting the sun tan. There's Ricky. That's Mary, Herbert's wife. That's Alice again. Now this is one of the many bridges that we crossed over that swung open. So that even the smallest boats go by. And as you can see, the people are fishing right off of this bridge. Now we're in Boston. Mary Louise, this is Robbie as a baby. So there's Robbie, Mary, Mother, Kathy. Now we're at Fort Henry, where the Star Spangled Banner was written. This is one of the cannons that they protect the shore. In those days, very obsolete now. That's the Hudson River. Now you can get a good look at the fort inside. Now Now we're at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Washington. The changing of the guard. Now we're going to, I think it's, there's the Washington Monument. Not for sure, but I think we're heading up to Lincoln right now. Yeah. There's Mary, Alice, Kathy, Robbie, and Dad. There's Maureen. The Washington Dome. The White House where the president lives. This is the back. Now, there we go up to another monument. All up and down hill. See, we were driving a 30, oh man, I can't remember whether it was a 53 Plymouth station wagon at the time. Now we're in Illinois. This is at Grant, General U.S. Grant's home. So it is. Now we're at the Eagle Point Park on the Mississippi River. Eagle Point Park has got a large dam where it holds back quite a bit of the water for the shipping channels. This is the bridge that goes from Iowa to Wisconsin, but as you look across, you see those trees are actually in Illinois. This is my mother. The picture is a little bit dark. There she is again, standing in front of the house. That's my brother Joe. And this is Kathy and Maureen as they were coming up the hill. And that's Mary, my sister. We can hardly see her. And that's Yolanda. Now we're coming back to Texas again. As you can see, they have a big monument sitting out there. We had Armando, Yolanda, and Mother, Maureen, and Kathy, and Alice, and myself went on this trip. Now here's Kathy's first day to school, and Maureen's second or third year, and then they're on the way home. They were tired. We were living on Simon Street. And now, this is Edna's husband, Larry. We were having a piñata party in the backyard of the house on Simon. This is Maureen's birthday. And you can see the piñata. Now we're at another wedding. This one, I think, is Edna's. Yep, Edna, when she married Larry. As you can see, Calvin Jordan walked across the back there. And that's Cora Chapa, by the way, with the dark hat on, talking to Edna. There's Carmen. Now, I don't know who the other young fella is there. Mother in the background. And with the kids jumping up and down. There's Armando. With a big smile on his face. Now we're at the wedding reception with Maureen, Kathy, and Norma. And this is them getting out of the car at the reception. Carmen, Henry, and Yolanda. And Mrs. Jordan. Here we are at Mark's baptismal. Well, Alice and I baptized him. And we are his godparents. That's Mary in the background. after the baptism. No, Yolanda and Mary, mother. There's Herbert. Watch him close his teeth on the camera. Now, by the way, the little dog was named Jacques. He was our first poodle, and we used to have a lot of fun with him. The kids thought the world of him. This is Mark. And there's Ricky, Kathy. Ricky wanted to hold the dog yet, but he didn't want to do it. He was kind of afraid. Now, this is Edna and Jock and the kids on the back end of our 53 Plymouth. Mother and Raphael cleaned the brush out from around the front of the house. This is in the lot next door to, in front of 107 Peters Court. The kids were playing with the dog. That's Connie. This is our house just before we bought it. This is what it looked like. Bare. Nobody had fences. Nobody lived here yet in this neighborhood. The houses were empty. As you can see across the street, there was nothing. Nothing at all. There's a couple of cars down the street. This is the house that's on the corner where the Chappas live. This is before it was made into a two-story house. This is what my back end of my house looked like before we moved in. We moved in the following week after these pictures were taken. This is where Raphael bought next door, over in the corner. Now, this is at one of Kathy's Easter hunts. We had an Easter egg hunt, and the only thing we could hide them behind was weeds because there was no grass. I think they were holding this between two people so that she could, that's what it was. Larry was on one end, and I just forget who was on the other holding that up. If she hit it, knocked the candy out of it. Now, this is the cake that Alice had baked for her. It looks shaped like an egg. Now, Kathy and Norma made their first communion. This is Norma, and there's Kathy. They made their first communion. Norma and Kathy. Father Breen, there's Norma, and there's Kathy. There's Norma again. There's Kathy. All of them coming around the back for a reception. There's Edna and Kathy, and Norma and her godmother that stood up. I mean, this is Kathy and Maureen on their tricycles with Jock, our dog. Used to like to ride on the back end. There's Larry. Oh, this is, I think, when we welcomed Edna back from Costa Rica, her and Edgar. There's Olga, Kathy, Minnie, Alice, Yolanda, Larry, Lou, Edgar, Alice, Larry. There's Edna, Larry, Alice, and Yolanda, Minnie, Edgar, Lou. I usually back this film up just to show you that I can take the food out of their mouth. But we won't do it because this is we're taping it. Yvonne is in the car, sound asleep, but there she is now. cooling her off. There's Mother and Carmen. There's Maureen. This is at Landa Park. There's Edgar and Nano. There's Alice, my bathing beauty. There's Yvonne. Ned holding her. Now we're in the back of 107 Peters Court. There's myself and Maureen and Kathy, Norma, Kathy, acting like an Indian, and Raphael. This is Yvonne's birthday party. I think it's her first one. First birthday party that she had. Now this is a Thanksgiving that we had at Alice's mother's. One of the many Thanksgiving deals we had. The turkey, the pride and joy, the big one. Everybody in the kitchen. I'm not just sure of the date on this, but I do know Yvonne was about a year and a half old when this was taken. There's Yolanda, Edgar, Olga. Then you can see Connie in the background. Maureen and Norma all getting in on the dance. There's Connie and Mother, Norma. This is Raphael's wife. They start singing "O Solo Mio" or something. Mother putting her make sure her good dishes are put away again after Thanksgiving. This is Christmas now. We went out to the airport to see Santa Claus come into town by airplane. I don't know if you remember Gabby Hayes or not. Here's my little painter. She wanted to paint, so I let her have the brush. This is here at our house. I don't remember what it was, but we had a party here in Miss Lou, Maureen, Alice, and I think that's Yvonne as a baby. No, it ain't either. I'll take it back. It had to be either Linda or Eddie, one of them. mother, Raphael's wife, Irma. Here we are out in front of the house. Easter. Easter again. There's Yolanda. Now, this is a hailstorm, and if you look closely, you can see the white spots. It's hail. It hailed so hard that it looked like snowing. Now, this is when Mother came down, and Dolores Fleets came down to see us one time. And we went to Breckenridge Park. We took them around the park. That's Aunt Dolores, and there's Mom. And Alice sitting in the living room here at the house. Yeah, we had August, and they don't want to have their pictures taken. There's Mother, and Alice's mother, my mother, and Dolores, and Mom, my wife Alice. And Olga was expecting. I don't know who she was expecting. That's Kathy running in with a wet bathing suit on. They were jumping a little pool that they had there. This is the foreman, Wilbur Foreman, and this is his daughter. And we had her baptized. We had her baptized out at St. Luke's. Everything went fine until the water. And she said, "Well, what are you doing to me?" Now we're all together. Oh, wait a minute, this was at St. Gregory's. I said at St. Leo's. It wasn't. It was at St. Gregory's before they built the church. Now this is where Maureen and Kathy learned to swim at down at the courts in Corpus Christi. They learned to swim underwater before they learned to swim on top of the water. This is a seawall at Corpus, and we used to go down there, and I used to like to fish a lot, and while they were fishing, I was fishing, they were. We are, let's see, in New Mexico right now. I don't remember just exactly, but I know it's along Route 66. We were on our way, I don't remember to or on the way back from Albuquerque. It looks like that we were on our way to. Either that or we were heading for California. Let's see, we'll find out in a minute here, because we also went to San Bernardino, California about the same time. This is the desert. Oh, no, we were in Albuquerque. This is in Albuquerque. Herbert took us up to the mountains to see snow. And we went just so far, and then we turned around and came back. Now we're in Albuquerque again. This is Indian Pueblo, where the Indians live. This is actually the Rio Grande, or I believe it was something, I just can't remember, of the river. But, as you'll notice, that they used to live in the rocks here, and this is part of it. They were doing handcraft and stuff in there, and actually they had a waterfall inside the rock formation too. Now we're back in Corpus again. This is when we bought our '66 Plymouth, and we went down there, and the kids wanted to fish, so we went fishing. Not much luck though in catching anything. Used to be good old Lone Star, but now more. Now we're back in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I don't know how I got these all fouled up, but I think that's where we are at, because I see there's Herbert. No, I guess that wasn't. There's Yvonne. There's Eddie and Linda. Edgar. Olga. There's Eddie. There's Linda. There's Yvonne. And there's Eddie. This is at Christmas right here at home. Right here at this house. I thought it was somewhere else, but like I said, we spent so many times away from the house on different things. Now this is at the cattle show. This guy was readying his calf to be shown. Took Maureen and Kathy out there at the Coliseum. And now we're back. This is another Easter. So it is. This is when Lloyd and his family came down, and Mom. This is at the Lone Star Brewery. So it is. There's Mom. There's Millie and Alice. There's Lloyd and Mom. And there's Kathy, Mike, David, Maureen, Millie, and Alice. There they are again. That's Lloyd, Mom, Mike, and Millie, and David. Now, I believe they're on the little train. They're getting ready to take a ride on the train. Yep, that's what it is at Breckenridge Park. There they are, the whole gang. Now they're in the Japanese sunken gardens. That's Mom and Millie and Lloyd. There's David and Alice, Lloyd, Mom, and Millie. There's Kathy, David, and Maureen. This is at the Chinese sunken garden or Japanese sunken garden, whatever it was at that time. There's Mom. She's getting ready. They're getting ready to leave back to Illinois. There's Mike. There's Kathy. There's Lloyd. There's Millie. They're leaving and go home. Back to Illinois. There's my thinker, Alex. We're back at Corpus Christi again, at that Coronado Courts, where we used to spend a lot of time. Kids wanted to always swim, so we took them down. They would take them down there to swim and have a good time in the water. Maestro Williams, Maureen. This is some of the homes that they have down there in Corpus. It was for sale at that time, and I would have liked to have bought it, but oh boy, it's money. That's Corpus Christi you see in the background. It's built up quite a bit since these pictures were taken. Edna and Alice, and this is in San Francisco, by the way, by the bay. San Francisco, as you look from the mountaintop. This is how the people live. They have entrance from the top and entrance from the bottom. And that's the cliff house you see in the back, but the water was so cold you couldn't get in. That's Larry and Doc. That's Maureen and Kathy. There they are again. That's Maureen, and that's David. Oh wait a minute, that Liz. That's Liz. Maureen and Liz running through water, the sprinkler system. Now we're in Chinatown in San Francisco. Walking up the hill. Now, as you're looking out, you'll see the shipping channel in South San Francisco. And this is the Golden Gate Bridge. Larry, Alice, and Mom, and this part of San Francisco that you see from the park alongside the bridge. That's Alcatraz that you see out there in the distance. Now we're in Sacramento, California, at a park out by the university where Larry was. I don't remember whether he was teaching or going to school. This is the capital of California, at the Capitol building. And this is Hoover Dam. We did get to go down inside of it, but they would not let you take pictures at that time of any kind. As you can see, it's down quite a ways. I was off the bluff, and I have no telescopic lens on it. As you can see, it's down a long ways. And this water just roars through there. It's a very loud roar. And it goes down through this crevasse. There's Kathy getting ready for school again. Now we are going back to school now. Maureen at her no, I think Kathy was at St. Gregory's yet, and Maureen was at downtown at This is in front of the house. There's Olga, Kathy, Alice, Mother, Maureen, Edgar, and Eddie. Yvonne in the middle. I didn't see her first. And there's Linda. And there. And this is here at the house. We had Thanksgiving. That's what's left of the turkey. Kathy dancing, and Maureen dancing around. It's Easter time, I bet you. Yep, it's Easter time. Tootsie and Mother, Ken's kids. They came down here for the visit, and there's Ken drinking his Lone Star, watching television. Mike and I can't. This was here at 407, 454 Lively, and they came down to visit. This was when they just had the three. Alice and Tootsie looking at pictures. Now we're at another wedding. This is Alice's cousin. This was taken in Del Rio. But then we jumped right from there to the zoo in San Diego. We went to see the florists in San Diego. That's the Mrs. Florist there. And this is the petting zoo where the kids could pet the animal they wanted to pet. As you can see, Maureen is petting a llama. And Kathy did too, and their daughter. And that's our son there. And these are all taken at the San Diego Children's Zoo. You see the little ape hanging on to that lady. Now we are at the sea mammal marine lab in San Diego. It's like SeaWorld, only a lot smaller. These dolphins were playing these instruments. One was a drum and a horn. Now you see the whales. And there you can see they came up a long ways. There they're feeding the whales now. Now we're at Disney World. Disneyland, I should say. Disney World is in Florida, and Disney World is in California. Although they're built in identical situation, I mean, where if you've seen one, you almost seen the other. I mean, their arrangements are just about the same. The Matterhorn, which is you see in front of you there. We went out there. This is an Indian tribe. We were on a boat and they were traveling around. And now we're going into a tunnel. There's quite a bit to see at both Disney World and Disneyland. There's Alice, and I believe it's Kathy. Can't quite make it out with the hat on her face. This is the quartet that was singing, playing there when we were there. Now we're back with the florists on. Now this is on a beach in Southern California. Yeah, actually, it's part of Mexico. So it is. The water was beautiful. There wasn't too many people around. You see Maureen in the white bathing suit and Kathy there. And the little florist girl. This is Mrs. Florist, and this is her husband coming down the hill. There's Kathy with her bathing suit on. She was building a sand castle or something. And they run out in the water, and just as soon as the waves started coming in, they'd run back because the water was too cold. But the water was beautiful but cold. And this was taken from out on the rocks. I was stood out on the rock. Now we're back in town again. Now there's Edgar and Olga, and Eddie, Yolanda, Kathy, Mother, and Maureen, Carlos, Linda, Connie, Alice, and Yvonne, and Norma. Must be another Thanksgiving because we're cutting a turkey again. Oh, we emptied the wine bottle. So we did. There's Yvonne, there's Kathy, Maureen, Norma, Connie, and Carlos, Alice, Edgar, Mother, Edgar, Olga, and Yvonne, Kathy, Maureen, Norma, Yvonne, away to California again. We took Carmen along with us this time. This is the Calvin Coolidge Dam. As you'll notice as we sweep around, it has, the way you can tell it's the Calvin Coolidge, it's got those big domes. This is some of the picturesque rock along the highway. This is Kim and Tootsie's oldest boy when they were in California, in San Bernardino. Now we're at Disneyland again. This is, I believe, in 1955. Either 54, 55, or 56. This is an Indian tribe that they had there at that time. I don't believe they're there anymore. Now this is the old Mark Twain boat that they had going around there. Actually, this boat was at one time was on the Mississippi River. This guy thought it was a still camera, so he still now watch. He said, "Boobies? Yeah." Now this is a fort that they had. Here they had shootouts, you know, like where you one guy they'd have pretend like they were having a fight scene, and then they go up and shake hands, and the Indians had Indians along the island around where the boat was, and these are some pictures from that Mark Twain, the boat, as we went around. That's the castle, and this is what they call the crazy teacup. Yolanda was with us, and her and Maureen went in one, and Alice and Kathy in another. This wasn't working at that time because The park was so new that they wasn't working. I believe this is just about the end of the day. We spent the whole day out there, and we went on different rides and stuff. Yeah, because see, we left as we were leaving. The train finally came around, and I got a picture of it. Both of them were together at the same time. Something unusual, I guess, or something. I don't know what it is, but now we're at the Chinese Roman Theater. There's Mike Dersinski, Kathy and Maureen playing with him in the front yard. This is in San Bernardino, California. Now we're with Edna up in San Francisco. The kids were watching for butterflies, huge pine trees around there. In fact, we went into the forest and they were making fun about the big redwood. There was a huge redwood there, and they were making fun about it, you know. Why do you want a picture of the redwood? Now you can see how San Francisco sits, you know. When it's hazy, you notice the clouds all over the place. Like a haze or a cloud, whatever you want to call it. But as you can see, it's right down on the ground practically. There's Larry with Donnie when he was little. Can't get much of a glimpse of him because he's jumping too fast. Now we're back with Tootsie and Ken again. Tootsie's pregnant, and this is in San Bernardino. There's Richard and Ken, Alice and Tootsie. And now we're up at Lake Arrowhead. It's a beautiful place, but for very, very rich. Very, very rich. This is Santa Claus land. That's what they used to call it, Santa Claus land. We're outside. This is Robert Vale and Connie and Carlos. Cano. Cano was his name. They used to come over and visit us all the time. Their two children, they moved out of town. Now I think it's another Easter or something, or a wedding. No, it's a wedding. I guess let's see whose wedding it is. There's Norma, Connie and Alice, and it's Raphael's. Raphael's wedding, and there's my Olga, Raphael, Irma, Connie, Kathy, Norma, Maureen, and Mom. Olga and Connie. Now they're all facing. Now, I don't know how this happened, but we got back on San Francisco. From the time we took that, somewhere I misspliced this in their Raphael's wedding in between. The This is San Francisco on a clear day. As you're looking at the Bay Area, there's Larry and Edna. That's Donnie and Liz, both of them. Boy, it's a beautiful place. But the winters are rough there on that water, along that water. The Cliff House. There's the Golden Gate. That's Elizabeth. And she was a baby. Fisherman's Wharf, which is not too far from San Diego where Edna and them were at. And there's Liz again. This is, sorry, I was interrupted by the phone, but we're back. This is Liz when she was a baby, and we sent her that baptismal gown, and that's Donnie and Liz. Edna, Donnie, Liz. Larry took these, had these pictures taken for me and sent them back to us. That's what he did. They turned out pretty good. I was really surprised. He borrowed somebody's camera and took them. Edna used to babysit the little baby she's holding. I do not know, this little girl. I don't know who they were. But anyway, she used to babysit for him. And take him out to the park and play with him and stuff like that. Kids will be kids, as you see, sliding down the slide. That's Donnie when he first started walking. Now we're back home again. This must be another Easter. It is. In fact, it's in front of Alden Edgar's when they lived on, I can't remember whether it was Gazelle but I think it was Gazelle Street when they lived on Gazelle. There's Kathy, Maureen, Alice, and there's Norma. There's Mother. Irma. There's Herbert. When we had our patio out in the back here. Arguing with Connie. Maureen. Yvonne. Now we're on our way to New York. Yolanda went with us, and Mother. And we were on this trip, we stopped, this is Lake Kentucky. It is a beautiful place. Here we are in New York. There's Lou and Kathy, Robbie, Yolanda, Maureen, and Alice. This is the Empire State Building, looking up. There's Robbie. This is looking down from the Empire at the UN Chrysler building, and as you can see, it's pretty hazy from the top. Looking down, it's pretty hazy. Now this is the 101st floor. That's the UN you see there. Now we're down in Rockefeller Center. There's Lou. And we're also right across the street from St. Patrick's Cathedral at this point. There's Robbie, Yolanda, Maureen, and Kathy. There's St. Patrick's Cathedral on the outside. It's a real impressive building. Now we're looking at the Statue of Liberty. There's one of the many tugboats they have out there helping the big boats. There's a police department flying a helicopter overhead, patrolling the waters, the traffic. Now as you see, we're getting closer to the Statue of Liberty. And now we're looking from the Statue of Liberty Island back to the city of New York. So we are. The shipping channel is busy. And as we sweep around, you can see it's a quite large city. And over there is where the immigration office is, where the people used to come in from other countries, and that's where they had to stay. Now this is the Brooklyn Bridge. Now we're at Rome, New York with Herbert, when he was stationed up in Rome, or he lived in Rome. And I can't remember whether this is Herbie or whether it was Chris, but there's one of Ricky and Herb. This is Mr. and Mrs. Jordan. That's Maureen on Rome Lake. That's Ricky there. There they are again. Herb is being carried in the house. Herb was sound asleep when he was a baby. That's Mark. There's Herb when he was a baby with Kathy. Now we're at Niagara Falls. Yolanda and Maureen and Kathy at the falls. As you look across, you're looking into Canada. This is where the people are standing is the United States, but across that bridge is Canada. There's the Canadian Power Company. And this is on the American side. This is down below the falls, where people can walk down and look up and see the water coming at them. The water just seems to rush. It gets faster and faster as the closer it gets to the edge. And the closer it gets to the edge, and all of a sudden it's gone. As you see, it raises quite a mist when as it falls away. And now we're in Illinois. This was my brother's boat at that time. There he is, Joe. That's Pearlie, Francis's wife, and Maureen, and Kathy right there. And let's see who else was with us. There's Pearlie and their oldest boy, Tony. That's my mother and Mary. And there's my mom again. There's Mary, Alice, There's Susan. Or no, wait a minute. There's Susan. That's Narb's girl. And these are some more of Narb's girls. There's Narb, my oldest brother. Susan, Jill, and Alice and Rita and Mary. There's Rita, my sister Rita. Everybody getting ready to potch down to eat. My mother. She I did like to have her picture taken. Rita didn't want to eat because she was afraid I was going to show her the pictures later and have him back the food out. Norb's got quite a color. Oh, his appetite didn't. There's Mary, my sister, and Narb's one of Narb's girls. All four of Narb's girls there. There's Jill. There's Joe. There's Tom and Narb, Pearl, Alice, Mary, Rita, Maureen, Yolanda. There's Aunt Dolores. There's that guy we used to call Tubby Larson, and Tom Fleur, Jack Allgaier, and Joe. Lloyd, Francis, and that's Francis's boy. Or no, it was Lloyd. And I don't believe you can see this because that's actually Maureen with a dog. And that's Mike and Joe and Lloyd and Mom. Now we're back in San Antonio again. With Maureen, they're getting ready to go back to school. This was the Smiths. We had spent Thanksgiving with them one time. They had a set of twins that used to go to school with the girls. There's Edna and Don, and this was some major that came over to one time to have, we used to work with Alice. He was quite a man with, he liked kids. He used to play with the kids a lot. This is people that used to live next door, Yolanda. And that's her husband there. He was a captain in the Air Force. There's Larry, Austin, and that's Raphael, and I don't know who Alice is. Alice. Explaining cameras at that time. This is on the patio that I used to have in my backyard. They moved away, and we haven't seen them since. There's Larry and Edna, and I don't know if that's David or Don. There's Linda and Edgar. Alice, Larry and Edna, Olga. Looks like we're celebrating another birthday here. Olga and Edgar, Alice and myself. Mother. Yeah. Connie and Carlos. Connie and Carlos and Edgar and Olga. Oh, it must have been my birthday party because Alice gave me a pair of pajamas and then she tried them on. I don't know who took these pictures, but they really moved around. Now they're playing the Congo. Johnny and Carlos. This is at the house here. This is Kathy's birthday at the Koss house. They invited a bunch of boys from Peacock. There's Norman and Pat. Were there. And there's Alice, Margaret, Alvin Forsyth, and their daughter Janine. And there's Connie. There's Janine's husband. There's Norma. And there's Maureen, Pat, and Kathy. These are all the kids that were at the party. This is a prom night. They all went to I think this is at Providence. They had a prom night, and these kids all went together. Now we're out at the park again. That's Mary There's Mother, and I don't know who this other couple. There's Lou, DuPont, Lou. There's Edgar and all Edgar there. The barbecue and chicken. This was at Breckenridge Park. Now we're at at Medina Lake, swimming. This is the boat we used to own. We used to have more fun. I don't know how this got in here, but this is some pictures of the World's Fair in New York in 1960, I think it was, when they had the World's Fair there. Or thereabouts. There's Louis Armstrong as he was coming out as you can see, well guarded. There's the Bell Center at the World's Fair. We sent my mother and Maureen and Kathy off to the World's Fair to see this World's Fair because I knew Alice and I couldn't go, so we sent them off. Because I never thought they'd ever get to see another one, but they finally did when it came to San Antonio. Now they're back at the Statue of Liberty again. And this is some of the people. And that's St. Patrick's Cathedral. Rockefeller Center. Lou and Mary. And this is when Maureen and Raymond Gonzalez baptized. Let's see whose baby was that. Oh, excuse me, we got a stand before the telephone rang. Raymond Gonzalez and Maureen baptized. Let's see whose baby it is. We should know in just a second. There's Olivia. Grandma Navarro. There's Kathy with our Christmas tree. Dwayne Skelton. And Mom. Oh, underneath the Christmas tree. There's Maureen. You know who that's Kathy and one of the Baines boys. I can't remember what his first name was. Now we're back at Canyon Lake. I think this was a company picnic when when there's Bobby Gonzalez, Maureen, Kathy, and Dawn, and there's Bobby, Maureen when she graduated from Providence. Now we're back at the lake again. I don't know how these all got swung around like this, but they did. That's Bobby Gonzalez skiing behind the boat. Back at Maureen's graduation again. Like I said, these I do not understand how they got mixed up. Maureen receiving her diploma, and her friend Elaine. This is when we had a snowstorm. It snowed pretty hard, but it didn't last. Now we're in the spring of the year. This is Easter. As you can tell by the new bonnets, new clothes. Here it is raining, but you can't really see. I think this is when Robert, yeah, that's Robert. Yeah. Now this is back, see, like I said, these have been mixed up somehow, and this is back at the World's Fair again in New York. As you can see, we're still there. Now, there's Maureen and Robert. I don't know why these pictures jump up and down. I notice there's a slight vibration in them. It looks like the edge of their hats are jumping. I think it was when either the film was developed or something that I'm going to cut it off. Oh no, there we are back at the lake again. Here we are on another picnic out at Baines Ranch. Armando is eating watermelon. Yvonne. The guy with Kathy is named Ray Gentle. He works now for the San Antonio Police Department. There's Norma when she graduated. And Kathy there. You can see her halfway up the steps. There they are together. There's Norma. There's Kathy. Kathy. There's Norma getting her diploma. And Kathy getting hers. Henry B. Gonzalez was at that ceremony because his daughter graduated too. I just couldn't find her in the group. There's Norma. There's Kathy. Let's see. These pictures are pretty faded out. I took these at the Hellers when they had a pony. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we're going to leave it in just because it's the only picture I have of Grandma Rundy. And this is up in Illinois. These are all Narbs girls when they grow up, except Maureen standing in the group. There's Millie and Alice. Now all of a sudden we got back to Landa Park, where we got all the Dersinskis and everybody else together again. Eddie and Debbie Dersinski and Kathy, Tootsie, Alice's mother, Alice, Ken, Edgar and Olga, and Linda, and Eddie sitting there. All the kids are playing in the pool of water. That's another party, another birthday. They're going to bust a piñata again. Now we're back at the lake with the boat again. These are all the girls that they knew and their boyfriends when they were going to school. There's Henry and Carmen, Carlos and Connie, Edgar and Olga, and Norma, Kathy, and Mom This was had to be at Edgar's. There's Alice, there's Edgar. At his Christmas tree. I remember he had the only silver Christmas tree. And it looks like Linda. I'm not for sure, but I'm going to say it is. Maureen and Kathy. I don't remember who this kid, the boy is, but he's one of their friends anyway. Now, I can't figure out where we're at, because I don't remember. Oh, now we're at Grandma's old house. Oh, there's Kathy and Olga, Ed, no, Connie, Alice, and Connie's taking off her apron quick. There's Olga. There's Edgar and Eddie and Robert and wow, Kathy and Maureen. Another Easter. I can bank on that. Oh no, this was when Kathy got married. No, it isn't either. Stella Velasquez when she got married. Kathy was bridesmaid for it. Or Maureen was. One of Maureen was bridesmaid. That's her standing there. There's Willie Velasquez. And now we're out at fishing out at near Bernie. This boy's dad was a geologist with a oil company out of Houston. They owned a place in the hills. Snizer was their name. There's Nelson and Alice, and we were sitting at the swimming pool. Now we're back at reindeer country again. Santa Claus is home. These are not real. These are elephants and that are on a safari like. See all the lions and that? Oh, this is back at Disneyland in California again. See, it's a small world. This is the home of the future, they predicted, but see, gosh, that's been 20, 30 years already, and it's still not in the future. This is more like the present. This is here at the house when we had, I think we had Nelson and yeah, them over for dinner one time. And this is a fish we caught at the coast. We went fishing and we caught trout. This is a little white dog we used to have, Nelson and Kathy. And that's Mother and Carmen. Huh? Oh, I'm taping. Herbert. We were, I just forget whether we were, I think we were at either Canyon Lake or, no, this is their, Kathy's supper that they had the night before they got married. There's Nelson, Kathy, Yvonne, Maureen, Charlie, and Bubba Montague, Robert, my mother, Alice's mother, Mr. and Mrs. Thayer, Brother Thayer, there's Joe, my brother, and Mary, my sister, Tom, and my mother. There's Vi. They were getting ready to leave. They were here. There's Tom. And now we are at the back end of Olga's old house. Herbert is barbecuing. Henry, Ken, Alice, Jackie and Nelson, and Maureen. This is at the coast again. There's Nelson, Charlie, Kathy, and Nelson. There we go, Nelson, Kathy. There's Charlie, Maureen, this is swimming at the Mahan Dude Ranch. They have a swimming pool. There's Robbie, and they were out, the kids were out riding in an old boat that they found along the shore. Charlie Montague didn't want to be in the picture, so they were trying to hide. There's Bubba Montague, Charlie Thayer, and Bobby. Now this is at the wedding. Nelson, Robert, and Charlie. This is before the wedding. And this is them coming down the aisle. There I am. wetting his